Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Wedding Film School Live. It is, sorry, I'm reading through comments. No Taylor Swift. I'll spoil it for you now.
I might have dropped something politically charged.
Oh boy. It's Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're excited to have you here for another round of wedding film reviews and just hanging out as a community. We are into November now, which is crazy to me. Um, and I'm sure for a lot of people, wedding season is dying down, maybe totally wrapped up. I had my last wedding of the year this past weekend, at least at this point. You never know, I guess. So yeah, let us know in chat where you're at if you have some more weddings. Obviously, everybody's still editing, but where you're at with your upcoming season. And I am joined today by Jay. Jay, how's it going?
Good. Sorry about the buffering. We can't figure out what has just happened to our internet connection or really anything. So, we've tried everything we can do to fix it, and I don't know what to do. But it's good though. It's good. We're having a good time. And I'm going to let Bobby talk for 2 seconds while I fix this.
Yeah. So today I'm going to go over how we typically do our live reviews. If you've been here, you already know, but if you haven't, or you need a refresher, the way that we work is you submit your films to us for review, and we want to meet you where you are at as a filmmaker. We're not rating your films. We're not giving them a score out of 100. We are here as a community to just watch, learn together, and help you get even better, especially for your next film. So we are going to watch your film. If you are not a member here, we'll watch 2 minutes or so of your film. And if you are a member, then we'll watch more, about 5 minutes or so. And you can hit that little join button down below to become a member. It starts at just $5 a month and gets you a bunch of benefits. And after we watch whatever portion of your film we are going to watch, then we're going to chat through it. We're going to say some things that we think you really excelled at, some areas where we think you are, really strong as a filmmaker that you should be leaning into, and things we really loved about the film. Not necessarily we didn't like about the film, but just areas where we think you could improve, and especially the areas that could have the most immediate impact on your film. So kind of thinking that next film or that next shoot that you do, where you should focus, you know, your changes, because changing a million things at once is not always the easiest thing. So,
No, no, no. It's definitely not.
yeah. So are we still going, Jay?
I have one thing I can try.
All right. Hey, what's up, Goran? Nice. I'm sure we got it on my end. I don't know who we have lined up for today. Um, what's up, Kyle, Aiden? Good to see you guys. All right. So Aiden's got. Wait, who said they had 12 more? Where was that? Oh, no more weddings. 12 in the backlog. Yeah, I think we all feel that. I mean, like I said, I disappeared. Oh, I'm back. Like I said, I'm done shooting, to my knowledge, for the year, but definitely still have edits, still have commercial work, stuff like that. So, but 12, that's doable. You can get it done by the new year. I feel like that's always my goal, going to the new year with none. Although that hasn't always happened, unfortunately. Cool. Audio, getting mixed signals on audio, but we will.
Are we back? I think we're back.
Okay. Let us know if audio's low, and we'll check it. But we had to prioritize getting the stream being not laggy, which it currently shows. Excellent connection.
I think I just had I swapped my HDMI cables. I mean my Ethernet cables.
Ethernet?
And I think I had a bad connection. And now I think I don't have a bad connection.
All right, fingers crossed. We need all of everybody's
force powers.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, now that we have that solved, sorry about the laggy start, but we should be good to go. And we ready to dive in, Jay?
Yeah, we are ready to dive in once I click on this thing, but you can introduce us to our first filmmaker.
Sweet. So we're going to jump into our first wedding film. And then we've got a big announcement for you guys, which is going to be coming after that. This film is coming from Jared Sheldon, JS Visuals. Jared said, filmed on the Sony FX30. My wife is helping as an assistant and second shooter, which was a huge help since I usually shoot solo.
Gotta move that mic closer to your face, Mick, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds horrible.
It's me who's quiet. All right. Wife was helping as an assistant, huge help because they usually shoot solo. Couple wanted to keep portraits quick because of the heat. I shot as much as I could, but once I got
I think we did this one already.
For more. Did we?
Yes.
Wait, let me look at it too. Oh, I wasn't here last week, so
it was cool actually. Possible. This was a good one, but I made a mistake. I could have sworn I did it. We'll do the next one.
Okay. All right, next one coming from Aiden, who is in chat. Novell Cinema. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. Lack of time for a portrait session. Super harsh direct.
It's like a common ceremony.
Theme. Yeah. What is this? Overall, besides that, fairly seamless day. Yeah. I'll be curious to see the harsh direct sunlight at the ceremony. That's always so tough. This past wedding on Saturday had these windows that were hitting the ceremony, and luckily the light moved by the time ceremony came around. But I remember seeing it when I got in there in the morning, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be brutal.
This is gonna be stinkor.
Yeah, like what do I do? So with all of that, let's watch Aiden's film.
Yes.
I promise you today that I will always love you.
What is
good
this?
Yeah, wait, is that on that end or our end?
I did redo everything, so.
Uh-oh. I hear you echoing too now.
1, 2.
Now you're not.
Yeah. This has just been a great couple weeks of live streaming.
Aiden put in the triple echo effect.
I know what happened.
venue is dope. Cool. Yeah, I mean, looking at the screen grab and the like 2 shots we've seen so far, hard to beat it. Whereabouts was this in? I know you're East Coast. You're like New York or something, but I know that's a pretty condensed area. So
Yeah, you know what happened? When everything crashed, then my audio joined again on my other Zoom. So there we go. We got it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet spot.
I promise you today that I will always love you in the good times and the bad. Life gives us the highs, more so when they're low. I love you when you're right. Second, I will love you when you're right. You're always right.
Men are stupid.
From this day to the end, I will love you every day with all my heart. No matter what life throws our way. Here we go, kiss.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
John, when you first came into Molly's life, you had a warmth and kindness about you that touched me very much. Your calm manner is always appreciated. You are there to support her, laugh with her, and to listen. Thank you for all of that. Molly, your dad and I have thought about this day.
That is brutal. That backlight and that toast.
Yeah, that was something I was gonna.
That is brutal.
bring up.
I'm trying to think of actual feedback to give someone more than condolences.
Yeah.
On the day you were born. My beautiful, energetic,
Cool looking house.
intelligent, electric daughter.
From the first moment I saw
Oops.
you, I was
Where
drawn
we
to
go?
you.
Where we go?
But I don't want
I
to
don't
say
know
it was
where it
love
went.
at first sight. Because to know you
Mystery.
is
It's
to
on
love you.
desktop 7.
Yes.
I promise to nurture your wildest dreams and ambitions.
Oh, you know what it is? When you go full, if you tap the screen that it's on, I was trying to read something about it. It moves it back to your other screen.
It's a cute
I
dog,
promise
though.
to always be on your
Another
team.
one.
And I promise to keep telling you about every big dog or turtle that I see. And I hope that you always do the same.
Oh, did your
Heard Molly
camera get
hitting at a guy.
blasted?
It was likely from Mom. But I do remember when I first met him. I remember it was because I drove home thinking, that's a guy I could call brother. In the time since, getting to know him and his family, and seeing how he interacts with Molly, Mom, and my kids every day has since refined that thought into excitement. They share everything from cooking to game nights and international travel. Last few years, Molly has grown in ways we can't grow on our own. While our dad isn't here, I know with 100% conviction, he would have said, my new son, tonight, with the same honor, humility, and love that Greg and I can say our new brother.
There's no one I would rather go through life with than you. You inspire me, you push me to be better. You never settle for anything less than the best. It's just clearly why you chose me. You make every day better just by being in my life. The day I met you, I knew my life would change forever. I was simply just going through life before you. And now I can honestly say that with you in my life, I'm actually living.
All right.
I promise you everything in life. It just may take longer than you wanted to.
Don't click on it.
Everything in life is yours. All you ever had to
Why don't we move to the next song?
If there is one. That's a big assumption.
Well, it's too long to be one song. There's no way.
It's got to be right after that. The 2 older people walking. It's a little obvious.
We tried it on.
On the building across the street. So the entire town is shut down. Nobody can do anything, and John is like setting up Mortal Kombat on the building, just like pandemic
it's yours.
When did they walk down the aisle?
and on the building.
That she had
Maybe
the
we
service.
haven't seen it yet.
We tried hardly at all, and
It comes in at the end.
brings
or
back a
something?
lot of memories. Let's put it that way.
Jonathan's heart is captured by you.
I feel like that's every dad I shoot. Looks exactly like that guy.
And your hearts together will form a bond for a lifetime. This means, of course,
when they first met, and they met online, which is interesting. He's a local boy.
Why is that interesting? That someone met online.
Interesting to her. It's different generation, Jay.
I think it's like 60% of couples.
He made her smile right from the start. You knew that there was something special right from the start.
Okay, let's talk about this one. So, first of all, Aiden, I love you. You're a good guy. So anything I say is out of love. But let's talk about what we like about this film and where it's strong, because it is strong in a lot of areas. So what did you enjoy about it?
Okay, so I really like some of the shots in Bridal Prep. I think you use light really well. I actually think that, one of the things that you put in the submission was the harsh light at the ceremony, but I think it was handled decently. I think, especially that main, we saw a lot of that main straight on shot. I think it was low, just like a gimbal on the ground or something probably, but I don't think I don't know. I mean, I know it's harsh light. We've all been there, but I think it was totally fine. I also thought the drone stuff was exceptional. Obviously really cool location, and
yeah, I was gonna mention the drone work. I think it's got like actual shots instead of just fly
exactly
straight.
Instead of just like, I'm gonna just show where we are. It's like
composition,
intentional in a lot of ways. Yeah, and I think that adds a lot to the film. And then I also think like this couple didn't seem. I know you didn't have a lot of time for portrait stuff. I think you got a good amount in that. Like, what is this? Like a 7-minute film, and there's lots in there, and whatever. It didn't seem like, especially the groom was like super into maybe being on camera portrait stuff. So I think you made the most of that. And then I always like the idea of, at the end, we didn't watch a lot of them, but you have these like little interviews. Like we were talking about the lady who said it was odd that they met online or whatever it was. And I think those, I mean, we didn't see a lot of them. So, but I think like those can work. And my assumption based on not watching it all though, is that I think they did kind of work for this film, because I think you were kind of lacking content. And so having that stuff to pop in, I think really worked well for you. Jay.
I think overall, you're talking about like a very solid film that the couple is definitely going to love. It's like my generic comment, but I really do mean that is actually very important. Like, yeah, because
that's more important than probably anything.
Because like couples like all kinds of bad stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so when you're making when you're making a film, right? A lot of times you don't get to make the film that you want to make. You get to make the film that they want to buy. Yep. And I think at the end of the day, like when you see like a film like this, it's pretty obvious like what they're dealing with. And then there's of course the lighting situations, which are not ideal. But like I always think like with Aiden and people.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah, like he has a very good sense of symmetry and composition, and like you like even shots like this. Like, is this the most impressive shot? And did he execute that perfectly? No, but the ideas are good, and in terms of like
that's nice.
Except it's so contrasty in that move at the end.
That's true.
But that's just color, whatever. So I think at the end of the day, and I don't like how the black and white looks, by the way. I think it looks...
Yeah, I have a question for Aiden on black and white, which is, was that choice because the lighting was just difficult, or why?
That being said, I actually liked the inclusion of the black and white throughout the film. Like, I thought it was tastefully done.
I think it worked for this couple, too.
Yeah, I liked it. And there's just it's just overall and the dialogue was good. Like his choices were good, and the boat stuff. I love the boat stuff. Like that's in so many ways. Like to me, this boat stuff was Like overall
It's a shame
across
you
the
couldn't
board.
get out like bride and groom on the boat,
Mhm,
sunset
yeah.
session.
I think overall across the board, Aiden did a very good job. Because it's like, you're saying she doesn't want to be on camera, but she's mean mugging the camera every single time she sees it. So it's like, I felt like he
Stop
did a
looking
good
at
job,
me.
like connecting the couple, like even this
Yeah.
kind of cheesy stuff and like to the day. So let's talk about some ways. Because I honestly, like when I was watching this, I was like, this is so easy to improve.
Yeah.
Because the mistakes are pretty overt and simple. So I think this is a good example of it. But I think the songs are also a good example. This right here. Oh, come on. I hate this platform.
Come on.
Where is this shot? Dang it. The shot of her playing with her veil. I personally don't think that looks natural at all. And I think there's a lot of that stuff throughout the film. I don't know where Bobby went. I think Bobby died.
Oh shoot, my camera died.
Oh, that's
How
cool.
is this possible? It's plugged in. I hate this.
You're getting bad voltage. So I think like it didn't look natural when I saw her doing that. Like she just kind of like, and like I think you gotta like read the room a little better. And like if you're with a bride who every time you point the camera at her, she's kind of like being silly and doing all that stuff. I personally think like that's not the right direction for a bride like this. And then with the people wanting to do the interviews, like I personally hate the interviews, but I also think like I know how that situation goes where a lot of times the couple's like, can you do interviews? So you do them, right? You do what the person wants, or you say no, or whatever it is. But like you had the interviews, you included the interviews, and I personally think like you shouldn't have had them hold the mic. We should have done it a little differently. But in general, I think like because you had those interviews, this is my biggest feedback. The music and the tone of the film didn't match the way that the people were acting on camera, and they didn't match like the interviews, and they didn't really match to me the vibe. I think you should have went way more low key. I think your editor should have paid a little more attention to what the assets they were working with. I also think when you're dealing with high contrast light, they need to pull the contrast down sometimes in the post. And I see a lot of like overly contrasty and poor exposures throughout the film. But that's my biggest critique is like, you got to kind of match everything, like match the music to the day, match the music to the couple. And even like the interviews and like the content to me didn't really match what I was hearing. And even the way the person wanted to edit it. And I think they should have I think when you were shooting it, you should have been like much more handheld, much more documentary style. Like even the location, like this is like country singer-songwriter, like, you know, it's not like wedding film epic. And I kind of felt a little disconnected from the couple with the editing choices and like even this shot right here, like she's just talking. Like it's not a nice shot. Like the editor needs to do a better job not putting in stuff that's just not flattering. So that's my feedback.
Yeah, I think my biggest things, I think you were kind of saying this, Jay, but I didn't really catch all of it. Obviously, I was changing my battery. So what, like, we're gonna see it here. All these shots of her looking at the camera, it's like all of them almost. And I wonder, and maybe that's just who she was, and maybe you
were, like an expression of her awkwardness was like,
and maybe you left that and you're like, God, like, man, she just won't stop looking at the camera. Like, but I also wonder, like, at, you know, bridal prep, if there were other options where, like, I don't know, I would shy away from that stuff personally, and maybe that's on brand for them. Maybe, yeah, your editor, you or whoever just chose that. I don't know. Like I personally tend to shy away when they're like, look, I'm on camera, you know. And there was stuff not like that too, obviously, that we're seeing.
I would definitely have gotten a lot more distance from her if every time she felt my camera, she looked at it. And I just felt like there was a lack of pivot by the shooter when it comes to the people you were dealing with.
The other thing for me, so we talked about that brutal lighting for speeches that like, yeah, I maybe you could throw a light on them and overcome that a little bit. It's a tough spot to be in. I get that. But the audio at the ceremony was really rough to me as well, Jay. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best.
It had a lot of like static hissing stuff behind it. And I think that's solvable. That's the other thing is like, even on the spot or in the edit, I think that's pretty easy to fix. And so I think that could have happened. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. The only other thing I would say is like, I don't feel like we ever hit kind of like an upbeat section. I know we did hit a second song, but we never saw anything where it really got going. We didn't watch at the very end, to be fair, so maybe it's there. And maybe also, to be fair, the day never really got going and the couple never really got going, and the day didn't really need that. But hey, there's that shot, Jay, of her playing with her vein.
Yeah, it's weird. Weird looking. I have one issue with the color too, and like I just think it's so saturated looking throughout the film. It looks like they have a LUT and then put a LUT on top of a LUT.
LUTception.
And I think you should tell them to tone it down a little bit. And
I don't think I would agree. I think it is oversaturated for my taste. I don't think it's like egregious. Like,
some of the drone stuff is egregious.
Drone's interesting because I think if you don't treat it differently, you run into that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a much less dynamic range image.
And it probably I feel like the drone stuff comes a little oversaturated right out of camera if you're
Well, they don't have real log. They have D-Log.
Yeah.
And D-Log is not as
forgiving
as a real camera log. But it's fine. So, yeah. But I think, I just felt like sometimes it's the shooting and sometimes it's the editing. And in this case, I think it's a little of both. And I think if you would have given the editor maybe a little better direction, like, hey, they did these interviews, they did, the bride was like this was how the day was. I think at the end of the day, I think you would have had a better result. And just letting them know, like, let's not do like the normal thing we do with wedding films. Let's make it like a little more down to earth or something like that. Because that's what I would have done with these people. I would have went like full on like documentary style. And I think it would have been better. Cool. But good wedding, good shooting. So good work. Also, nighttime drone. You could have done a sick nighttime drone of that dance floor. You missed the opportunity. Anyway, we got an announcement, Bobby. We got for all of our 2 people sitting in chat.
No, we got more than 2 people. We just got 2 very active people.
But let's play our announcement because I'm pretty excited about this. This
as well.
So, Bobby, why don't you tell everybody about what we're doing?
So, if you know, we kind of teased it last stream. Oh no, 2 streams ago because I wasn't here last stream. We are coming back, Clarity 2025 this year in New York City. One of the best cities, if not the best city in the world, in my opinion. Early February for a time to just get together as filmmakers. We don't want to call it a workshop. You are going to learn. You are going to refresh, relax on this retreat, and really just get around other creatives. Learn from some of the best in the industry, some really high.
I don't know if Kyle's still in chat and Aiden's in chat, but like, what do you guys think? Let everyone in chat know. Well, what do you think about last year?
Yeah, last year we were in Boston. It was a great time. They will see that in probably about 60 seconds, which is when we'll see a comment, I imagine. But yeah, it's just honestly so nice and refreshing to go into a high-end venue like the high-end events that you are or want to be shooting and collaborate and just bounce ideas off people and open up a little bit and be honestly just inspired. Like, I find my biggest inspiration, the biggest times in my career where I've left something or been like, man, I am like motivated to do these changes, has been when I'm around high caliber creatives. And I think about Clarity last year. I think about when we were in Austin, which is where me and Jay and Jared first officially met, at a retreat out there. And that stuff, it has such a huge impact.
Oh yeah. I mean,
career.
I think back on, we'll play the video. Let's play the video and then we'll talk about why we want to do retreats, because I think we have some good reasons and a good conversation.
Yeah.
Whoops. I should probably turn the audio on.
What's up, wedding filmmakers? I just wanted to invite you to what I promise is going to be the greatest retreat for wedding filmmakers that you've ever been on. We're talking 3 nights and 2 full days with some of the greatest wedding filmmakers in the world, in the greatest city in the world, New York City, in February. We wanted to create a workshop for people who are looking for more than just shooting tips or even marketing tips. We are bringing some of the best wedding filmmakers in the world, not only in terms of their artistic ability, but in terms of what they're doing in the industry. And they are going to be there to help you grow. We wanted to create a space where you could connect with some of the best filmmakers in the world in a deep and meaningful way, where you could actually connect with one-on-one coaching and actually ask some hard questions, and also have a little bit of space to think. And at the end of the day, that's what Clarity is all about. It's about you getting space to think and having incredibly meaningful and important discussions about some topics that maybe are a little bit hard to define. And at the end of the day, that's the goal, to create that clarity in your mind about what you need to do. If you're looking to go to the next level in your business, if you're looking to scale and grow and get into markets you've never been in, there is no better workshop for you to attend than Clarity 2025. Early bird rates expire on December 10th, so head over there, sign up today, get the best possible price. We can't wait to see you at Clarity 2025. I promise you, it's gonna change your business. Sign up today at clarity-retreat.com. We can't wait to see you in New York City.
That's it. That's our announcement.
It's going to be awesome. Jay has put in a ton of work planning an excellent event, just as he did last year. And I can say, as somebody who didn't play a huge role in planning out 2024 and did not really know, like, I want to say it's weird because, like, I obviously was a part of it, but also like almost like a guest or an attendee. And what an incredible event, and I think we will only build off of that for this year.
We wanted to go up another level too. I think there's a couple differences this year. The biggest one is we had great people last year. We had Adam and Ray Roman, and this year we wanted to have even more amazing people. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to impress upon people is, like, good shooting is important and good shooting is good. But Absolutely. The most important thing for longevity is like actually having a perspective and an intentional approach, not just for your shooting and your editing, but for the business and the marketing and the sales. And I really, really, really thought about, like, what type of filmmaker would, and there's clearly people who would meet this category, by the way, who aren't at this event. So this is by no means throwing shade at anyone who's not invited or said no or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, like, we were like, who are some people that are doing what we consider to be professional wedding filmmaking and at a high level? And so we made sure to go with some, like, we have Lindsay from The Rev, who I think goes without saying, not only is he a great filmmaker, but he has mastered marketing and sales to the luxury market. Yeah. We have, Sharon from Fiore Films. Fiore, like, she's, not only is she making luxury high-end wedding film sales, but she's creating something that just stands out and is so unique, and she has her perspective.
I so agree with that. She is one of the most, like, I feel like she can take any wedding that she's at and make it look like hers, which is crazy.
Well, and also, like, some of the stuff that she does, if other people tried to do it, it wouldn't look as
It
good.
would just fail. Yeah.
Like, and so she just has that unique perspective. And, like, obviously I'm going to be there, and I'm clearly a genius. So if you want to learn from me, you can.
True.
Bobby's going to be there as well.
True.
But,
I will.
You know, the people that you might not know are two people that we've invited that I really, really three. First, we have a wedding planner, Lindsay Landman. She's spoken at Engage in the past. She's a very high-end New York City wedding planner, luxury wedding planner. And like, she's going to kind of talk to you guys that perspective as a planner, which we always try to do at Clarity, is bring high-end luxury planners. Yep. Because we think that's important to hear that perspective. And we're bringing Julia Kintner, who is a very good filmmaker that is probably not someone that most of you know, but you should. We met her at Engage last year, and I was really impressed. The presence, her attitude, but also, like, when you just see the way she's created her own market position and what she's done, and of course the films, she's someone who I think I'm really excited to hear from. And then we have Ryan Brown from Forged in the North, who runs a amazing high-end New York-based, Brooklyn-based wedding filmmaking studio. They make incredible, beautiful work doing a ton of weddings, and they do a lot of photo and a lot of video. But here's what I wanted. I wanted diverse, not just types of films, because that actually is not as important to me. What is important to me is diverse approaches that are all working. Because I think most people could make a lot of different types of films. Don't you agree, Bobby?
Yeah.
But we're not all capable of running multiple types of businesses. And I think the way that you choose to approach your business as a filmmaker in the wedding industry is almost more important than your output of work. You know, when you look across the board, right? And here's what I love is, like, a lot of people who are successful make very similar types of films. And I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, my films are just as good. Why am I not as successful as whoever they want to pick? And I'm like, because you're not doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen into that, and I probably still do at times, where you're so focused. A lot of people just really focus on the content they're making.
As they should, but of course.
Yeah. But that alone is not what makes a successful wedding filmmaker. And I think we've all seen it, the people, you know, me, you, Jay, and plenty of others who have been in this industry for a long time. I've seen very good people who make very good or very solid, at least, films go out of business, you know? So it happens.
So, I mean, I hear all the time filmmakers that are people that you would know probably who are struggling next year. And it's not everybody. It's not your fault. If you're struggling, it's not always your fault.
Yeah, I know.
That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is it's just important to get around someone to try to get perspective.
And to focus in the areas of business and life-work balance and things like that just are not really talked about as much in our community, as much as, like, and we're guilty of it too, obviously, but like as much as, here's the new Sony camera, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's important to talk about the other aspects of this and to push each other and to grow together, because I think you make the biggest jumps while doing that.
So just to recap, these are our filmmakers at this event. Why is it doing that? What the heck is going on with my life, man?
What did it do?
Just playing a ton of loud noises. And I don't know.
Just scream over it, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, so we have, you know, Larev, Fior, myself. We got Lindsay Landman Events. We got Bobby, Forged in the North, and, of course, Julia Kintner. And we're really excited. But the format, I think, is what I'm most excited about, because we do things a little bit different at this event. We do have, of course, some places you can learn and talk, but we have no shooting. So if you're looking to learn to shoot, we don't have styled shoots. You can bring a camera if you want, but I'm never going to ask you to take it out. Although we might make it a little trip to B&H, which is exciting. But the biggest thing about this event is it's really built around staying in high-end luxury property and just having a more of a peaceful / fun / refreshing time. Like filmmakers, I think, don't really invest in themselves, and I think it's a good opportunity. We also really, really focus on a little bit of journaling, a little bit of self-reflection, trying to have a little conversation with yourself. Because we're not just going to be having a ton of sessions where you're going to be hearing like 5 ways to make $5 million from Lindsey Conklin. Yeah. Although that would be great. I would love that session if it was, you know, the biggest focus is spending time. And here's what I like the most. We have every meal together. All your meals are included. All your lodging is included in your ticket price.
Yeah, that's a big, like, I don't think people necessarily get that. You're staying like in the heart of New York City. Like, we are eating good. We're staying
the
good.
Beekman Hotel. We are really connecting and actually doing life together for a couple days, you know, and I think like that is where like the camaraderie gets going, is like we're spending time together and talking and actually like connecting one another. And I think that is really maybe a big difference. And it doesn't mean that the other ways of doing retreats are bad. We just want to do something different. We wanted something that was a little different and really focused on professional wedding filmmakers or people who are, that's their goal. Like my goal is to be a professional wedding filmmaker and to get plugged in with other professionals. And I want to know what they're doing and how I can get plugged in. And so that's kind of how it is. So I would love you to sign up. You know, I would say, Goran, if you can find a way to pay for that for us, we're happy to go to,
that'd be sweet.
We're happy to go to Croatia. It's beautiful.
So would Austria.
But regardless, it's like, we're very excited about it. And so we wanted to offer you guys a special, 10% off code. So I'm going to put that in the chat because.
Ooh, sneaky. We can pin it to the top or something. I don't know. So yeah, we're going to put in a 10% off code for everybody who is in chat watching this live stream, which is awesome. And I think, you know, one of the big things too is this is our time to refresh, and we acknowledge that. So this is our time. This is our off season, right? For a lot of people. And I think going to a workshop can be a little like I am definitely you know, an introvert and a quieter person, and going to a workshop can feel like work, but I think Jay touched on it. I just want to really reiterate that this is, yes, we are learning, yes, we're coming together, but there's a lot of community in a like low pressure situation, and a lot of like recharging and being able to enjoy yourself as much as possible as well. So you know, we want to learn, we want to grow, but we also want to enjoy each other's company and have fun and be able to let loose a little, and I think that's important. So
I agree. It's very cool. So, and if the code doesn't work, I did have a weird issue with it, so just let us know. Reach out on Instagram or whatever and let us know if it didn't work, because I think it's supposed to work, but sometimes that kind of stuff is weird. So, you want to review another film?
Let's do it. That's what we're here for.
This one is for
our big announcement.
Our good buddy.
Our good buddy, Grant, who is in chat, I believe, or at least was. And Grant is my fellow
Minnesotan.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
All right, let's see. First,
do you know that my family is from Minnesota?
I feel like I did know that. I feel like we talked about
that. Oh, yeah. They're Matsons.
Okay.
Norwegians.
I've shot some Matson weddings, but that's a big name. So.
Well, yeah, it's a big family up there.
Yeah. All right. So, first wedding of 2024 for Grant. Felt a little rusty. One of those days where I felt like I undershot, didn't get as much as I would like. Some of that had to do with the timeline, a lot of waiting around. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has seen this, but that is like par for the course this year. Like the second half of this year, I've had so much like that weird time where it's like downtime and then you're crazy rushed, like things super condensed and then nothing happening and then super condensed. And
I feel like that's all the time for me, but
I feel like I don't usually have that downtime, but I've had it more. And I'm like, what should I be doing?
I would say not real downtime, just poor planning.
Downtime. Fake downtime. I ended up editing in the second half of the film with an upbeat song, which is out of my comfort zone. But we all need to grow. Cool. I'm excited to see that. Will be fun to see. Yeah, Grant trying something new. We've seen his work on here before, and I think that's spot on. That hitting that upbeat stuff is not the norm for him. So I'll be curious. Also, this is at Mosaic, and nobody here knows except for me, probably, unless you're from Minnesota. This is a really cool inside space, but it's a difficult outside space. It's right on the outskirt of the city. It's not near any of the cool stuff of the city, really. The inside is just white. You really have to dress it up. So I'll be really curious to see what's up with this.
Agreed. You ready for it?
Let's do it. Make sure audio's turned on. It looks like it's off right now.
It will be on soon.
That's my city.
Sophia, Peter, today you stand before your cherished ones, ready to embark on a wondrous journey together.
Peter, love bug, baby dude, my best friend, my love. Damn, we're here. If I were to go back to my 17-year-old self and tell her that she would marry you one
Swearing. It's bad. I'm not watching a film with swearing.
day, she would say,
Canceled.
yeah, I know. I think we both knew pretty early on that there was something here that was special. And almost 12 years later, you're still my favorite company to keep.
That's a cool shot.
Sophia, our life is an example of the butterfly.
His color looks different in this film.
The notion that one small occurrence can influence a much larger, complex system. In our life's case, the butterfly was a little girl who got hit in the head with a volleyball at a friend's high school graduation party. You and I didn't know each other at the time, but this gave us an opportunity to talk. One thing led to another, and 4,364 days later, here we are getting married. And so that one small occurrence would alter the course of our lives forever.
People tell me all the time that I'm so lucky to have found my person so early.
You know one thing I like about this is awesome. This shot is awesome. This, if you're wondering what to do when you have harsh light, create a little visual story, right? Put someone in somewhere, kill this, like let the shadow die.
Yeah.
Put the couple in there, create a little spotlight moment. I think that's so smart. I love that he shot it wide. I wish it was actually centered. You could have done that in post.
I know.
But this is a very nice composition and good use of light. Like there's always a solution to create a compelling image. So this is good.
On. And I am. And for
Let's
that,
kind of go to the, let's check out the end of this one.
Search is over, baby. An authority of
I wanna hear this
self,
transition, 'cause
and
I
now
know he
pronounce
was
you
uncomfortable.
husband and wife. You may now share your first kiss.
Search is over, baby. I'm right here, and I got it. Get your hands clapping, yeah, I'm gonna get you hooked. All it takes is just one touch and just a simple look. There's nothing really to it. You can't have nothing really to it. Just one touch and just a simple look.
Sorry, I wanna.
All it takes is just one touch and just a simple look. There's nothing really to it. You can't help but stop and stare. So baby, can you handle this? I'm leaving everywhere, yeah. I got the thing you're looking for, and I got more.
This is, so these are types of songs we use a lot. These very R&B centric, have like a classy, almost a vintage vibe to them, but they're upbeat and they're fun. And I think like a lot of wedding filmmakers they only use this like weird type of wedding filmmaking music.
Chapters.
Well, no, the hype stuff. You know that hype music that every wedding filmmaker use? It's like almost, this is like, I think when you're doing high end and luxury, you need a lot of gears. Because you can't have like your hype stuff feel.
Well, you need different levers to pull because, Yeah, different.
It can't feel
People, different
unelevated. It
tastes,
has to
different-
all feel elevated.
Yeah.
And I look at this and I go, I feel like this is a good song choice. So I know that you said you're uncomfortable, but I was more listening to what is the song he's gonna pick and is it gonna work?
Yeah.
And I feel like this works really well. You like it?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you how do you feel about like when you think of a hype song with how you're doing your edits? Like, what are you looking for?
So yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for, I think like you said, like you want that upbeat nature. And also I'm somebody who often uses lyrics or lyrical songs.
Yeah, of course.
Or songs with vocals basically.
Mhm.
And so it is tough. Because yeah, you want like, it's weird. Like you want upbeat, I'm trying to think how to like put words to it. You want upbeat, you want that drive. I want vocals.
You want, like, you want better cuts. You want to increase the pace.
Yeah, the pace has to fit, but it can't be like overbearing. It can't win, like it can't be the story. You know, like you want the visuals to still live there.
Yeah, and it has to feel like maybe not the couple would definitely listen to it, but
no,
like,
but yeah, it has to fit like them and the day. And
This is a good-
especially if you have like a planner involved, that becomes like, I don't know. There's a lot of like people to please kind of where it has to fit with all that.
especially to like if you're trying to get bigger and bigger weddings, how you handle upbeat is almost more important, because I think if you're watching this stream and you're like kind of processing like what is important about doing high-end luxury, when you watch this you go like, this feels like, and this is, I don't mean this as a bad thing, like if you go to a high-end luxury wedding, they're gonna have a band that has these instruments.
Yeah, it feels classy.
Feels classy. It has to be classy and fun, and I think that's always a very challenging with our stuff. Me and Jared always call our work luxury fun.
Yeah,
like it's important to us to have a little bit of fun. Our couples like it, and so if you can figure that style out, you really stand out. So all that to say,
it's more difficult in a lot of ways. Like anybody can put a like slow, classical.
You don't have to have good
and just do
taste to pick
slow
chapters.
cuts. Exactly. Yeah.
But you do need to have good taste to pick good hype songs that don't sound like.
I mean, we've said it. How many times have we said it here where we're like, we've talked about musical taste and how it almost can't, I mean, it can be taught, but like some of it, like you just have to like understand.
Let's
what
kind
is
of
like
close this
that.
one out, Bobby, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about the film.
Today, you are no longer
I love that
just
shot.
my brother,
Yeah.
but also a husband.
Yo, dude.
Husband to an absolutely wonderful
Grant is so tactical.
person. And I know you two will bring joy and happiness to each other's lives forever. My parents always said, let him win.
Tell me where to go after this, Grant, and I'll play the best soundbite.
Today, I don't need to let him win.
We can just finish it out.
Today, he won.
He said I missed it all.
He won the jackpot! So if I can have everyone raise their drinks, here's to you, brother. Here's to you, sister. Let's make this a night they'll never forget. Let's go!
All right. There's.
I really like that ending.
There's a lot to
3:30.
like. A lot to
3:30.
like.
3:30. Let's hear it quick.
3:30. Okay. Please don't suck.
Don't let us down.
Family.
Grant just setting us up for like a super racist joke.
Here taught me that one does not need alcohol to have fun. So cheers to that.
That was it.
In conjunction with the visuals, I get it.
That makes sense. All right, so I like that film. I think tonally you kind of nailed it. There's few little things, but in general, I really like the edit is very good. The portrait work is very solid, and I can tell you're kind of working with what they're giving you, and I think that's just a skill. You have to know that skill. It seems like you lit that right there, which I think is cool, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't tell.
But I think just in general, like you, especially, I know you're worried about the hype. And yes, I do see that, by the way, and I think that's a good. Well, I'll bring that one up, Kyle. But in general, I think like these people party. They're partiers.
Yeah.
And they're funny. And I think you made the right read, and the fast song was great, and I think that was actually the best part of the film.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. The first, let's call it half, I don't know, before the song transition, was a very Grant film. And the second half was very, new Grant 2.0. I enjoyed the first half. I really enjoyed the second half, maybe, of the second half. I didn't dislike the transition or anything like that, but I think that's where some of my differences would come in, or things I do differently. But I really, really liked not just the ending in the sense of the last shot or last 10 seconds, but that last minute or so, minute and a half was just really, really solid. I think you really leaned into who this couple was. Because I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you probably didn't go into this day saying this is the wedding where I'm gonna.
Let me stop you there, because I think you're bringing up something, and this film brings up something that is a smart technique that a lot of people don't do very well, but you can do well. People show you multiple sides to their day, and one way to edit is just linear, chronological. But another way to tell a wedding story is to break people's personality up into two songs. That's how I edit in my mind sometimes. I'm like, these are the slow moments of their day.
Yeah.
And who they are, and the romance, and the heartfelt, and the like I edit like this. Like I'll tell my editor, I'm like, this section from this to this is going to be family.
Yeah.
This section of this section is going to be romance. This section of this section, drinking.
Yeah.
But it's but I think you did a good job pretty taking their personality and splitting it into two parts of the film, so it felt like you're getting a full picture. When we got to them partying and drinking and being silly and clearly telling jokes, you had gone through literally crying and vulnerability.
Yeah, you don't miss that other side of them, which is important.
When you mix them, it feels weird.
Yeah. Or if you completely ignore one.
Yes.
If you go to, I think a lot of people end up doing that, where you go to a wedding like this and you do nothing upbeat and you say, I make classic slow, and this is not a dig at Grant, but a lot of his stuff is that more slower paced. What you saw in the beginning, the dark, a lot of silhouettes, a lot of dark, really narrow streams of light and a lot of use of shadow. And I love that stuff. That's very me too, in the way that he shoots. But it would be a disservice to this couple to have not done what he did in the second half. And to keep it that way.
It's just a smart.
Can you imagine here's this slow piano while somebody gets, liquor poured into their mouth, or 40 people get liquor poured in you know what I mean? It doesn't fit. And so, I think, that it was really, really well done.
Sorry, we've had a lot of election news recently.
Yeah, true. And other than that, what's the other? I mean, I kind of touched on the use of light, which I always love. I think Grant does a good job of that. I really like that wide reception speeches.
So good. His wide shots are always good too.
That wide was just I wish I had that. It's a unique space or venue to do that, because you have just a clean wall.
Honestly, Jared and I are shooting wider and wider and wider. My very favorite shot right now, though, is if I do these epic receptions, is get as far away as possible with a 7200 and just crank that compression, but use it as a wide. That is such a good shot. If you can get far enough away to use a 200 millimeter lens as your wide, it looks amazing. But
Jay's crossing state lines to get that shot.
Oh my goodness. Every time I do it, it just looks so luxury. It looks so good. Yeah. It's so exciting. This is a great film, though. I have a couple notes.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think that's so good. The biggest issue I have is it felt like you could have lifted your exposure throughout the film. the fact that it was bright outside, I don't think you should have been as sensitive. I think you should have just pushed the pushed the exposure during that ceremony and really made it feel like, yeah, and it just kind of like it felt a little dead a few times visually, and I think you could have you definitely could have maybe given it a little more in like oomph on your. I'd rather have a little bit of camera noise if I had to pick Bobby than have a dead looking image, because you can see right here the skin tone is like popping and bright and felt saturated, and you get in here and you could just see and so maybe it's a lighting thing. Maybe, who knows what it was. I think you could have maybe taken that risk a little. And then I think the other one is your basic editing style was as I described it, which is breaking it tonally up and of course a little chronological. And I think I would agree with a comment in chat, and I did notice it, and I was thinking, I don't know, what could they have done? But then I said it perfectly, so I know what you could have done, which is I really think you should have moved the parent dances. Like, I'm looking at that dance. They're both crying. So I'm assuming her father passed away, and that the mom and the daughter are dancing together. And honestly, that's pretty heartfelt, and I kind of think you should have moved it into the slower part of the film and really fixed the tone a little. That's not a huge bit of feedback, but it is something that I noticed, and I think that's what I would say.
I think my things that I would do different are,
and I don't like that punch in right there. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I have two things or two portions that I think of. I would have really liked to see not even 30 seconds, like 10 seconds. Okay, sorry, let me backtrack. I didn't love the intro. I didn't dislike it. Like it's not a bad intro, but it's this intro where we fade to black on the shot of the ceremony, front of the ceremony, altar, whatever, and we go straight back into. It's a slow-paced, meaningful, heartfelt intro into slow-paced, meaningful. Like, I don't understand the transition there, really. And I also think that the words that were said, like, I remember when she said them, and I don't remember what she said. I was like, I need another sentence there. There was, like, something missing. And so, especially now, given seeing the whole thing and the way this couple was, I think it could have worked better to have a more upbeat 15, 20-second intro, and then it makes the, slower, more emotional stuff even more impactful. That's the way I would have done it personally. And then the other thing that I think, and I don't know, the answer necessarily, but the transition of, I like the second song, I like the first song, I like the way you used them, but that in between, kind of around the first kiss, felt a little shaky to me. In that, like, we had like the song starts with this guy talking, right? He's like, oh, we're gonna, I don't know, whatever it is, it's in the song. And then we have this hard beat, but at the hard beat where the music kind of blasts, we've already seen them kiss. Like, I think I would have taken out that talking portion, hard started on that like upbeat with the kiss. And I think that would have smoothed that trend. Like, I think hearing her saying, you can now kiss, or you're now husband and wife, and then them kissing while this guy is, the artist from the song is saying, well, it's going to be, I don't know, whatever.
Well, yeah, I honestly noticed that. And I, the first time I watched it, I thought someone was talking.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me.
Yeah, so I just, yeah. A little rule I have is kind of what Bobby brought up. And one way to fix that is like, if someone's talking in a song, I never have a person talking on the camera or any on-camera noise. Just to not create that confusion. But yeah, I agree in general. I felt like that transition could have been.
It's just like it wasn't bad. It's not the wrong song choice or anything like that. It's just like tightening that up a little.
I think it could have hit harder too. Like boom, boom, boom. Like I would have done. Yeah. Like the musicality of it was a little lacking. Like you had a drum roll there. Like you could have done like a big like flash cuts.
Yeah.
To match the drum roll or something like that. That would have made it like hit. So yeah. I agree. That's all very good feedback. But this
was super solid though, and I think
such a good evolution.
Really well, really well for your portfolio, and just show kind of that you have the ability to do something else. Because I think not like you get stuck in your ways. I'm not saying that, but I think
everybody does a little.
Yeah, but like more just like as you make good films, which you are making, and you show off good films, which I assume you're doing on your socials and on your website and whatever, and people see your good films and they are all slow paced, which is not a bad thing. That's kind of been your style, this darker visuals, slow pace, this classical music, a lot of like, you know, I know you do a lot of Catholic weddings and things like that, which are all good things. I think you get like pigeonholed into only that. So to be able to show a different side of yourself, to say, hey, if you like my style and you trust me, but your wedding is going to be more of a party than what you traditionally see on my site, no worries, I've got you still. And I think that's huge.
Couples care about that. Like,
yeah.
So I'll play a film that I just did. You want to, and see if you can find the bad word, Bobby. But I wanted to play this film because I think there's an interesting thing that happens at wedding films or at weddings. When you are given an asset that is not your very favorite, and they're like, can you include this? And so, or maybe it just doesn't work that well for the film. So this is a film we did. The bride brought in a DJ from Miami, and the DJ made a song about them. I don't know if it's a song that they wrote and changed the words to, or if I don't, you know, I guess I should know that. But regardless, it was a song that he made. It was about their relationship. And I was like, I'm not going to edit the wedding film to this guy's song. Like, it's fine, but it's not my style. It just doesn't work. It's not really even the right type of music. What we did was he extracted he kept saying their names throughout the film. Kevin and Biz and Kevin getting married. And he F yeah was the actual chorus. Biz and Kevin getting married, F yeah.
Well, you ruined it. Now I know.
Well, you see if you can find the F yeah.
Oh, okay.
You might not be able to find it. But I wanted to play this one because it's not a compromise anymore, like, to include it. I think actually by including it, it enriches the film. And I think if you can be very clever with what you do with the assets you receive from a wedding day, even the ones that you're like, that's cheesy, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Take a second, think about it, and say, okay, what could I do with it that would make it more heartfelt and more better and like not cheesy? So I'm really happy with how this turned out. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Bobby.
Yeah.
Biz asked me to bring the energy.
You know the best thing about this? Oh, shoot. No. Good song still, though. You know the best thing about this wedding, Bobby? This wedding is 15 minutes from my house.
Oh, I've had that once.
I didn't even have to get on the highway to go to it.
I have plenty, actually, 15 minutes from my house now, but I had one where I walked to because it was 2 blocks. That was when I lived in Santa Barbara. It was wonderful.
Yeah, this is like, I didn't even go on the highway. I just drove all the back roads to get it's just at someone's house.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
Biz asked me to bring the energy tonight. As we celebrate the marriage of the real princess of Princess Lane. So let's go.
Kevin and Biz.
There it is. That worked for the intro.
Yeah, and also these gates were very important.
Also bringing the energy.
The gate was very important to them. That's the gate to their house. In fact, they made a replica behind their wedding
Their
ceremony.
journey began together on a fateful December night
There's the
in
gate
2017
again. There it is.
at a Christmas party. Biz was captivated by Kevin's infectious smile, and their connection was undeniable.
Oh, what are you shooting? Oh,
Although they didn't speak for 3 years after that night, Elizabeth always referred to him as my husband. Maybe she knew fate had a plan, and their paths would cross again, leading them to this very moment.
Kevin has always been a man who embodies kindness, strength, and dedication. He's found a partner in Biz who complements him in many of those ways.
What is Biz? Is that
You found someone
Her
who
name is
compliments you
Elizabeth.
perfectly.
Okay.
Who shares your dreams and who looks at you like you're the only person in the room. Kevin, you're gaining not just a wonderful wife, but a
Crappy
whole family
stabilization.
who
I'm
already
sorry.
loves you dearly. And Kevin, you must be something special to have
So many
captured
kids.
her heart.
They didn't live in a gated community. They lived in a gated house.
As we celebrate Elizabeth and Kevin, two souls who found love in each other's hearts, may their laughter continue to fill their lives, butterflies to fill their stomachs, and may their journey together be filled with endless love, happiness, and the fulfillment of their dreams.
I, Elizabeth Petrarca, take you,
I like
Kevin
it.
Nader, be my lawfully wedded husband.
I, Kevin Nader, take Elizabeth Petrarca to be my wife, to have and to hold from this day forward,
For better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
forever and ever.
for all the days of my life.
Kevin, you may kiss the bride.
I can see how much fun you guys have together. I have no doubt that your love will only grow stronger with each adventure that you take along the way.
Love brought us all here today, and let love fill our hearts and carry us through our journeys together.
Let's turn up the music, hit the dance
There it is,
floor,
there it
and make
is.
some unforgettable memories.
That's the 7200 compression shot.
Looks nice.
It's so good. Like
You're
look
in
at
house.
It's just compressing and it's like the foreground. It's so freaking good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
Nice.
And then we end it with the gates. So that's the film. And you know what's funny about that day is we were like, "Ah, we did a bad job and blah blah blah. Like, you shoot one of those and like, they have their challenges.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with that one, and I like the musicality of the edit, and that's a
Yeah,
big
worked
deal to
well.
me. Like the biggest thing for me about an edit is the musicality, like something like when you do like bum 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 bum, like you can show motion to go with the drum beat,
Yeah.
or you can show cuts, and I think
Yeah.
inexperienced editors only cut. They don't push, they don't speed up, they don't slow down,
Yeah.
they don't put motion, they don't do all that stuff that I think really can be like another level of editing is
Yeah.
and I learned that from just watching a lot of Alex's work from Sculpting with Time is it wasn't just the cuts, it was the camera movements and like the way he used speed ramps and stuff that
Yeah.
went with this musicality. And I think like that's something we really try to do, but I just want to kind of play that because A, I like the film, and B, there were some unique challenges that we had to solve, and I'm really happy with what we did. I'm happy with how it worked, and I always like talk about this a lot where I'm like, could you have implemented that? Like that's not a very good cool thing. Like, interviews or
Yeah.
things like that
Yeah.
that I don't love, and it's like I should play something where I had to take something that wasn't my very favorite thing. If you hear the song, it's not that it's bad, it just doesn't work for the vibe.
Yeah.
And like this is how we implemented it, and also it is a cool design at that wedding. So
yeah, it was beautiful.
So yeah, so Bobby, just let's remind people one last time about what we got going on, and have people head over to the website so they too can come to Clarity. What are we doing in February one more time?
Early February of 2025 is Clarity 2025. We are excited to host another in-person retreat, is what we're calling it. Clarity 2024 was a blast. We have people in chat who can attest to that. We are bringing, a handful of filmmakers out to the very wonderful city of New York City to get together, to recharge, to learn, to grow as a community, to push each other, to open up, be vulnerable. And it is an amazing time to not only learn from some of the absolute best, like our lineup is just top notch, but to also enjoy yourselves in your off season and to relax and to be in a luxury, a luxury area, a luxury spot downtown at the Beekman. And it's going to be great. We're going to all learn together and have an amazing time. We have some big things planned for you, and we have an amazing lineup, like I said. So
head over to Clarity Retreat, and if you use the code that's in chat, WFS Live 10, you're going to get 10% off your ticket. And just as a reminder, your ticket includes your room and your food, and barely any profit for me. So
yeah, and it's a nice place, gorgeous place. Jay has.
I'm
nice
a snob.
taste. Yeah, well, and that's part of what we're trying to do too. Like, we want to bring you into the places where if your target is to shoot high-end weddings, these are where your clients are staying. These are where your weddings are being hosted. These are, this is the world they live in, and so being in that is wonderful.
Yep, and room service ain't bad. So
yeah, that's true.
So we'll see you guys there.
Clarity-retreat.com, 10% off by using the code that's pinned at the chat. We would love to see you there.
And I'll drop the link in there.
Also, you can see in this video that's playing, we have LaRev, we have Forged in the North, we have Jay, we have myself, we have Fiore Films, we have Julia Kentner, and I am blanking
Lindsay Lamb
on the
and
planner's name.
events.
Yes.
A very she's a engaged speaker as a wedding planner and a very high-end luxury New York City based wedding planner. So we're going to learn a lot from everybody there, and we're excited.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining today, for being in chat, for watching these films. Hopefully you found it helpful. Check out clarity-retreat.com. We'd love to get you signed up. 10% off right now, and that will last until tomorrow, Jay?
Tomorrow afternoon.
We're saying code didn't work.
Let me look at it again. Try it now.
Jay looked at it and he said, "You're gonna work." And we've got early bird pricing going right now too until.
Oh, you know what it is? I just spelled it wrong.
Oh.
Wah, wah, wah. That's a good thing about Aiden is Aiden is so thorough that he just he catches all my typos. I would have Aiden be my personal assistant if I could. Even though I love my personal assistant. It's at the Beekman. The Beekman Hotel.
New
York City, and we're really excited.
It's gonna be a blast. Get out, explore New York. We got to explore Boston last time, which was fun. I'd never really done that.
All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and let us know if you have any issues. The best place to really contact us is on the Wedding Film School Show Instagram. So if you have any issues, reach out, DM us over there, and we'll help you out.
Cool. Thank you. See you guys next week, and get signed up for Clarity, and